I dated a trio.
You said what?
I dated a trio. You and Kirsten and Kyla.
I thought you said something else. You coming into a situation automatically where it's not just about you. There's guilt. Biological parents deal with guilt. You might not know the internal screaming that's happening.
To the bio parents, you are seen, you are heard, and I applaud those right now who are struggling.
You got to know what you're looking for. Don't settle for what you know that you didn't pray for. The champ is here. The champ is here. The champ is here.
What are you doing?
I thought that this episode was about me.
I mean, you are the parent. You are the bio parent. So
we are talking about the bio perspective.
Okay. So you the champ is here. The queen is here.
Oh, listen.
Yes.
Most of the time, I'm the co-host. Today, I get to be the host, of the My Dope Blend podcast. Welcome.
Welcome.
My Dope Blend, we are so glad that you are with us today, listening and watching.
This is not church.
Why I gotta? Does it feel like church?
You sound like it.
I can't help it. Well, we are glad to have you with us today with the My Dope Blend podcast. I am the co-host. Today will be the main host, Greg Kirkland, and that is the co-host today.
Just for today.
Mrs.
Leslie Kirkland.
Oh, okay. Excuse me. Put some respect on her name. We here to talk about the bio parent perspective.
This is going to be interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be different. If there's anybody who's watching or listening in today, make sure that you share this, like, comment, because we want to get you as a part of the conversation. And we're going to be in the comments with you. And if you got some things that you want to share them. And we'll make sure that we get back to you as well so that we can all talk about this, the bio perspective.
The bio perspective.
Ready to get into it?
I am.
Okay. Well, you all have heard me say many times that I have never had I've never been a bonus parent.
Correct.
When Leslie and I got together, Leslie had never been married, no children, and here I am, this guy that's coming from a previous marriage, a divorcee with 2 children. And, Leslie had to make some choices, and I'd like to think that you made the right choice.
I did.
Okay, very good. You answered that the right way. And I get it. I guess I'm glad, or proud to be able to connect today with those who may be watching from the bio parent perspective. The biological parent perspective. The thing that I love about our show and our podcast is that it doesn't just deal with, even though it's a blended family podcast, it doesn't just deal with blended families. It deals with the blended aspect. It deals with the biological aspect. It can be a show about parenting. It could be a show about marriage. It could be a show about divorce. It could be a show about blended families. You get all of that when you listen to the My Dope Blend podcast.
Yeah.
And so, I'm appreciative that the host has given me the opportunity today to just kind of share some things from my perspective. I don't know if you have questions or if I can just jump in or.
No, I'm excited about this episode. I think it's going to be great because, for all those bio parents that are out there, that have their thoughts, feelings, and want to be heard as well, from your side of things. I think this episode will give you that. And I hope, as my husband has said, when you hear and talk through this, like and subscribe, comment. I want to get your opinions and even your stories, because what that does is that helps us to get a better understanding of what others are going through. So let's do it. I'm ready.
I think that we're in season 3.
Yeah.
And I remember in season 1, I got the chance to share that, early on for me, well, from the very beginning, not just early on, but from the very beginning, as a man coming into a relationship with 2 children, meeting a woman who had no children of her own, never been married, first of all, you had to make, as I said, you had to make some decisions and some choices as to whether or not you even wanted to be about that life, whether or not you wanted to deal with,
I need to come up with a symbol about that life. I'm sorry. I need to come up with like a bonus club blended symbol. Something. So.
Okay. And so, I remember that, of course, my very first thought was, how are my girls going to handle a new woman?
Yes.
How are they going to take to a new woman? Are they going to like her?
Did you stress about that?
No, I didn't stress about it. It's the unknown.
Okay.
Because they have a mom. Their mom and I divorced. They love their mom.
Absolutely.
And I'm saying that these were present thoughts in the beginning. Mm-hmm. Here I am, my girls, they have a mom, they love their mom. They were not at an age, I think that a lot of people that are out there, they run into an issue of blending with teenagers, which I think is a completely different perspective.
Yeah.
And even some people, blend families and the children are almost adults, college age, things of that sort.
Or adults.
Or adults, Thankfully in our situation, the girls were 6 and 7.
Yes.
So they were impressionable, I agree with that. They were not easily influenced, but thankfully they were at an age where you had the opportunity to show them you, not feel like you have to win them over. They were young enough to be able to give themselves to someone new, if that makes any sense.
It does, but I guess one of the questions that I do have right off the rip, because when you're dating, and you don't have kids or you haven't been married, you date to date, you don't have all of those things in the back of your mind. Like, for someone who's just dating right now at this moment, all they're thinking about is, is this right? Is this not? Is this something I want to marry or have kids with? And if it's not, okay, I'm moving on. Mm-hmm. When you're dating and you have been married and now you're divorced and you have children, you date differently.
Right.
So what does that look like? Like, what is the mindset of a bio parent when they're going into dating with children? Because that's a process, dating, engaged, married. Your mindset is totally different because
the mindset is are they children people?
Yeah.
Are they people? Are they selfish? As a bio parent who already has children, going into a relationship and you're meeting someone new and they are learning, they come into it knowing that you have children already, one of the first things you have to look for is this person selfish? Because that person has to be able to already know that it's not just them. You coming into a situation automatically where it's not just about you. There are other people that already have the heart of the person that you are pursuing. I'm saying from the blended parent, from the blended parent perspective.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? The person that's coming in to the situation that's already established, right? The bio parent is looking to see, can this person be selfless? Can this person share? Can this person share my attention? Can they share my time? Are they able to? Or are they self-centered? will they not be able to handle when, we talked early on about times that we had plans and one of the girls got sick, and so I had to adjust my plans to see about the girl. You know what I'm saying? As a bio parent, you're looking at, let me see how they react to this. It's not a test.
But is it?
It's not a test. It's not. It's not a test because it's not anything that is intentionally done. I won't make my daughter sick to see how you react and see how you respond. But my daughter's sick, I got to call and tell you that I got to change my plans. So there is a part of me that's going to say, how are they going to react to this?
Okay, so that, it's so funny how sometimes our episodes kind of just flow into each other. But that goes back to the grace episode, because when someone has never experienced that before, you kind of have to give grace, because I went through a selfish phase in my life. And when I met you, I didn't intentionally seek out a guy who had been divorced with kids. That's not, I'm gonna be honest, that's not what I wanted, but I think it's also a maturity level, because you could say I was still a selfish person, I guess, because it was all about me. I didn't have anybody else to think about.
But
so no,
because even though there were moments where it was difficult for you, grace goes both ways.
Okay.
I had to give you grace from a standpoint of, this is not their mom. I can't expect you to react like their mom, to respond like their mom. I can't expect you to, because just like we talked about on a previous episode about when I made the statement of, you're not a bonus parent until you're a bonus parent. You don't have to feel like you know what I'm saying?
So you have
don't rush yourself. No. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that, to your point, the point that I'm making is that grace is extended both ways. I didn't have to tell myself this. It came naturally. It came naturally for me to give you grace when there were moments where because you were coming from a situation where you had a selfish phase and it was only about you, and you didn't have to worry about children, you didn't have to worry about a husband, you didn't have to worry about an ex-husband, you didn't have to worry about an ex-boyfriend, you didn't have to worry about any of that. So you could have easily come into the situation like, I gave it a chance. I'm not the type that share. I don't share. I don't cook. I don't care who it is. I don't share with another woman. I'm not about to come in and share with no kids. I'm not used to this. I'm not used to being put on the back burner because you got to take care of these kids. You could have taken that position. That would have shown me, okay, she's not a good candidate. She's not a good person that I can consider, because my reality is, it's not just me. I'm not coming to the table with just me. I'm coming to the table with 2 kids in tow. You understand? So as a bio parent, it's not testing, but it is a natural. You gotta be observant of how the person that's coming in, that's going to blend, how they respond, how they react, how they, you know what I'm saying? There were some times when you would have to share, this is not easy. I'm not used to this. This is different. I had to give you grace.
Yes.
Right? And then there were times when, because I had to make adjustments, because I had to do things with kids, you had to give me grace.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by grace goes both ways.
I think one of the things that, we kind of face is, and not say he just threw this on me, because he didn't. It was when we decided that we were going, really, like, we were doing this. My husband is very busy on weekends. We do a lot, in ministry and all of those things. And, the girls are in tow, as you stated just now. And y'all, bless you. But, he used to have them girls dressed like, I was like, what?
We have talked about this already. We don't have to go down this pathway.
But like, what do they have on?
They had on what I put on them.
Which was not.
Were they dressed? Did it match?
Oh, did they? Venus and Serena. But anyway, so we're gonna come back to that from a standpoint is immediately I was like, no, listen.
I want you to remember that. I'm coming back to that.
But it was a situation where, I was like, Lord Jesus, I ain't never really shop for no kids, but I do know clothes and I do know what looks good and I do know this does not. Right now, let's
let me tell you something. I was father, a single father,
and it showed.
Shopping for girls.
It showed.
But this is the reason why I said let's hang out right
Thank
there
God
for a second.
me.
Let me tell you what's interesting. America. Let me tell you what's interesting. She would do all this talking about me dressing the girls alike. Now we have 2 boys.
What? They don't be dressed alike for everything.
They just took pictures and they both wore the same outfit.
Not because
She buys the same sweater twice.
No, I don't.
She'll buy the same shirt twice.
That's not.
She'll buy the same outfit twice and put it on them.
And they look
I'll be looking at them like.
And they look like runway boy models. If you ever want my kids to model for, just let me know.
So when you match the kids, they look like runway models. When I match the kids, they look like what?
Silence.
You can talk about Venus and Serena all you want to.
But and anyway, they are.
Girl.
They are. But let me tell you, my boys, first of all, they picked that outfit out because I gave them the option of but because they like the same
sweaters.
They don't have it.
We're not talking about clothes. They don't buy their own clothes. And I don't buy their clothes.
Bio parents, we're going back to you. Now back to you.
Yeah, as a bio parent of boys. My boys dress alike, just like I dress the girls alike. Anyway,
but go ahead.
So when you're a bio parent that's dating, at the forefront of dating is observation. The forefront of the dating process for a biological parent is observation.
So remember that.
Observe the person that I am interested in.
So the first thing, and for our listeners and viewers, I hope you guys make note of that, is observation. That is key and critical. Be mindful of that. And it's not a test. It's just observing, because you have to take into consideration that you're not just dating one. You're dating.
Sure. I mean, because here's the thing.
I dated a trio.
You said what?
I dated a trio, you and Kirsten and Kayla.
Oh, I thought you said something else.
Boy, go ahead.
So, what I'm saying is, because, I mean, you're not going to, the bonus parent is interviewing too. Interviewing, I use that word lightly, but the bonus parent is observing as well. It's an observation process.
Yeah, it sure is.
Because you're looking at, I'm quite sure, which you have told me actually, so not even quite sure. I know that there were times when you said, I watch you with your girls, and part of what attracted me to you is that you reminded me of the relationship between my dad and me. My dad and I. Look at us smiling. So made us smile now.
I love my dad.
I know.
Go ahead.
I know. But, I know. Her daddy probably wears a size 5 shoe, but you would think you would think that they were like size 15 because the size 22, like Shaquille O'Neal, because those are the shoes that I have to feel.
He is the best dad ever.
He is. I don't disagree.
Anyway, go
my dad. They neck and neck. All right. But what I'm saying is, so you were observing me. You were not just observing me. You were observing my relationship with the girls.
No, that's valid. Yeah.
How do I treat them? How do I take care of them?
Mm-hmm.
How do I consider them?
Yeah.
How do I, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you could talk all you want to about the clothes I put on them. They were dressed.
Well, when I observed that,
they were clean. Their hair was done. It might have been plaited to the side, but they were done. The dress might have been tied up on the shoulder, but so that it didn't hang on the floor, but it matched.
Continue. Please continue.
Okay, so I'm just saying, you observing. I think another thing that a bio parent well, I won't say struggles with, but there are times when the biological parent has to deal with where does my loyalty? What is my loyalty lie?
Ooh, now this is good.
You know,
Where does your loyalty lie?
yeah. When I have it in moments that I do have to choose between, I've made plans over here, but now my girls have plans over here, or you know, that's personal. But for you, it could be, I've made plans with this person that I'm interested in. We're dating, you know, we're trying to make this thing become something, but my children now have a conflict, or you know, something that came up that I wasn't aware of, or something that wasn't on the calendar, or they're sick or something like that.
Where does my loyalty lie? Oh my God. And you, I'm going to applaud you seriously, because
He did not applaud me.
I am, for real. Wow. Because I will say this, out of, you know, throughout our dating process, I honestly cannot say that I ever felt like I wasn't number one. I can't say that. I really can't, because you did a great job with always including me, even when we had to cancel things and stuff. I always felt like I was in the forefront. Like you always considered me. You know, or, you know, there was always, I can't, but, you know, so you did an awesome job with that. And I know internally at moments, this probably was a struggle, for you, because one of your personality and your character, you know, and you are all things to all people. That's just who you are. And you're pulled in every direction. And I didn't want to be that person to pull you. I didn't. I wanted to give you the freedom to pull me. I wanted you to pull me into your life. I didn't want to have to pull you into mine. It was a difference at this moment. Mm-hmm. And you did that, and you did it so gently. So I applaud you on that one.
Well, thank you.
Look at that. No.
Now, in about 20 minutes, she's going to be cutting me out about something else. So I'm going to take that applause.
But no. But that, and I'm sure a lot of bio parents deal with that, especially men.
Yeah, because then there's a flip side. Because see, while I appreciate what you just shared, and it means the world to me, and I'm glad that you felt that way. Mm-hmm. You know, I would dare to say that my girls would have, and it's only by the grace of God. There's that word again, grace. Mm-hmm. It's only by the grace of God that I feel like you can feel that way, and they felt.
I agree with that.
How that happened, only God.
Only God. Yep. I completely agree with that.
But then there's a flip side too. There's guilt. Biological parents deal with guilt in a blending situation. When it comes, it's like the loyalty side of things has a flip side of guilt, because it's a tough decision to have to make choices at times of which one I'm going to choose. The flip side of that is, whichever one I choose, there's the guilt of the one that I didn't choose.
But does that guilt, is that just internal guilt? Because it's not necessarily the person putting that guilt on you, right? It's just it's something that you, a bio parent, be it male or female, internalizes themselves, sure. Right?
It's great. It's a great part of it is internal.
Okay.
You know,
so it's an eternal battle that you all have to get through.
Sure, because you have to deal with the fact that, okay, again, just using as a simple example, if you and I had plans and then something came up with the girls, right? If I choose...
You get my tissue, because I know I'm about to cry again.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know what is wrong with me.
Tammy Faye, if I choose to choose the girls, mm-hmm. and what they have to do, there's a guilt of, but we had plans. And even though the type of person that I am, and this is not braggadocious, but it's who I am. The type of person that I am going to figure out a way to where even if we got to make a change, I'm going to include you, and it's going to make sense. If we were going to do this right here, then if I got to choose the girls, I'm going to figure out how to choose the girls and have something that had something to do with what we were going to do so that all was not lost.
That's very true.
Okay? That's just who I am, you know, because there's the guilt of I'm disappointing you by making changes to our plans. Then there's a flip side. There have been moments, believe it or not, and I might get crucified for this, and you might feel how you feel. I don't even mind. You can put it in the comments, and I can take it. I'm a big boy. I can take it. But there were times that the girls may have had something, and because I was building a relationship with you, I had to make a choice to go with what you and I had planned. The whole time with you, you might not know the internal screaming that's happening at the idea of the guilt of, you know, I hope that they don't feel away. I hope that, you know, this is going to come back. 10 years from now, they're going to remember the skate party that I was supposed to be at, that I couldn't be at because, you know, I had made plans over here. And, you know, but that's nothing that you could control. That's nothing that they could control. That's nothing that anybody could control. That is the plight of the biological parent.
And what's so crazy about that is, and this is to the bonus parents, some situations you didn't have to tell me that you were having a internal battle because I felt it. And even in midst of, and if you recall, and not a specific situation, but there were times I was like, it's okay, don't worry about it, or we don't have to do this, or have I not? And you were like, Leslie, wait, and I'm like, no, I get it. And that's why I'm about to get teary-eyed, because I know what that was like for you. And I know what you did. And I know, like, when the girls had recitals, or things like that, and you couldn't be there, y'all, I have seen where he would sit in a practice and watch the whole recital just so his daughters could say he saw it. He didn't have anybody record it. He would sit in their practice and watch it just so they could say, my dad saw it. There were moments, I remember my husband used to take the girls because they shared, he's always the drop-off guy with school, okay? He literally would wake up to drive 30 minutes to drop them off to school, 5 minutes from where they were. And it was literally, I think it was less than a 5-minute drive.
What?
It was less than a 5-minute drive from their mom's school to their school. He literally, I'm not saying this as a bragging thing. I'm saying this as that's his heart, and I know he struggled with that. And there's times, y'all, he was tired. We had a newborn baby at home. And he did the night shift with the newborn baby to give me rest. And I'm about to cry.
You don't have to cry.
And he would wake up to go get them 30 minutes. And sometimes the traffic was bad, 45 minutes. To literally pick them up from one school and drop them 2 minutes to another school. And they didn't even realize that until they became teenagers and started driving, when they saw the school for themselves and they saw where they were, and their dad came to pick them up, and then they saw the school. They were like, you did that? You did that? And it's just, in that I knew the internal struggle that you dealt with. I knew it. And at times you and I would have a tug of war, not because I was trying to be difficult, because I was trying to make your load easier. Because you carried so much. You carried 4 women, and then when Carter was born, you carried 4 women and a little boy.
I mean,
it's not easy.
No. And that was, you know, it was it was hard. Not only was it not easy, it was hard.
I,
But if you remove, this was just me. This was and is just me. Remove the word bio, remove the word bonus. I'm a parent. Those things came along with parenting.
yes, and I agree it does. I agree, but your parenting and your situation was different because through it all, you still remained present, even in your brokenness. And even when grace wasn't extended to you as a divorced father, you know, and then you had to deal with bringing someone new to your children and not knowing what that was and what it would be. You ain't never been divorced before. You never dated besides the person you married, and now you got 2 additional people to think about who mean the world to you. That's not easy.
It's hard.
And I can't imagine what men deal with at times, you know, when they're dealing with an ex-wife and a new wife. It's
No, it's hard. Not only is it not easy, it's not just not easy, it's hard.
And y'all don't express, men, you know, I'm not a man. Well, of course, as you see, I'm crying. But y'all internalize, right, but y'all internalize more than y'all release. And when y'all release.
Yeah.
You know, the pain, the heartache, you know, the financial struggle. Divorce is a financial struggle, you know, because child support is real.
Yes, it is.
And then when you marry, and then you have another child with someone else,
Yes,
and
Lord.
that's more money.
Yes,
You know
Lord.
what I'm saying?
Yes,
And
Lord.
I
But
commend. That's all. My tears are just.
I think that's what makes this particular episode so special. Because, you know, the show is My Dope Blend. It's about blended families. And you are the host. You're an amazing host. You know, your perspective is the bonus parent perspective. You know, my perspective was never the bonus parent because I've never been a bonus parent. I've just been a parent, you know. And there was a lot that I just threw on my back.
Did you ever feel alone,
Yeah, sure.
even with me?
Yeah, because you could not you had a bonus parent perspective. I had a biological parent perspective. You're a woman, I'm a man. It's just natural for there to have been moments the same way there were moments that you felt alone with me.
But the whole thing is to provide a safe space, and there's moments. No, I'm saying you provided that safe space for me. Did I extend that to you?
Yes, absolutely. But safe space doesn't mean that you're going to identify with everything. I mean, yeah, this goes into husband and wife, period. You know, we talked about this in a previous episode, but husband and wife, period. There are just things that just husbands are going to keep to themselves. And just like there are going to be things that wives are just going to keep to themselves. You know what I'm saying? Wives can get in groups with other wives and unleash. Y'all can get in a room with other wives and wear us out.
Do you?
But it doesn't mean that I haven't provided a safe space for you at home. It just means that there are things, even as your safe space, even as your bestie, even as your husband, that I just will never understand. And that's vice versa. But it's not it's not enough. My first marriage, that was enough for me to say, I can't stay here. You got to think about that. There was a missing piece in my first marriage that was enough to make me say, I can't stay here. I can't.
So,
And that's not personal. That's just in our marriage, there was something that wasn't safe. There was something that was missing. There was a void there.
so in this blending and in this situation, would you say, you know, even to you, to the listeners and viewers, is it worth it? Is it all worth it?
Yeah. Sure. I mean, because here we are, 13 years later, with the podcast.
Yeah. But it took yeah.
To me, think about it. We're sitting here not trying to act like we have all the answers.
Because we don't.
No. What do we have? We have tools.
We have experiences.
We have stories.
Yes.
We have work that we've done.
Yeah.
We have grace. There's a grace that's on us that has made it through to be able to share what we've learned along the way.
And you know what's so funny? That I think before we even created this podcast, and you know, my friend brought this to my attention today. My friend / producer brought this to my attention today, but it was all orchestrated. You know, people were seeing us, and God was using us as an example before this even was created. Our way of doing things, how we conduct ourselves with our children, our entire process from dating to marriage, I believe was being viewed like, how did y'all do this? You know, to say that you came from this and, you know, heartache and pain, but you got to this end result. How did you do it? Because it seems like it was so seamless. Like it just was just so easy. You know, only God can make it
Absolutely.
seem like it's so easy.
Absolutely. You know, that is his wisdom and his strategy. That's his wisdom, that's his strategy, that's his grace that he will put on you to, when we were in it, it didn't feel beautiful.
It didn't. And y'all, for real,
it didn't feel beautiful.
It didn't.
You know, it didn't feel beautiful for any of us. You know, the girls include, I have been so blessed that I met a woman that my daughters loved. Not just like, not just tolerate, not just have grown to, you know, we good. No, it was never that. From the beginning, there was a relationship, there was a bond, there was a rapport that was created, that was genuine.
It was.
It was never put on, it was never phony, it was never cheesy, it was never from you or them.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And you've shared even the ebbs and flows. You know, I feel like with you and Kirsten, it was always like just like that.
Mm-hmm.
With you and Kyla, it took a minute.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but y'all have clicked, and along the way, once y'all clicked, y'all.
And we got our language and
got
everything.
You know, y'all got it. I mean, y'all sit up and talk, and I'm walking the door like, who you on the phone with, Kyla? How you talking? That's much. Okay, but I'm grateful for that, because in the beginning, that was my prayer.
Yeah.
That was the thing that I had to be observant about. Listen, you know, we're not going to fake the funk, like in between divorce and you, that I didn't have a season that I dated and that I,
Absolutely.
you know what I'm saying? But I didn't meet anybody that checked all the boxes.
Ooh. I don't want to take over.
Oh, here we go.
No,
I told
no,
you
no,
I'm
no,
the
no,
only
no, no,
kid.
you the
Only
host.
kid.
You the host.
No, you're the host.
Yeah, but we're gonna I want to put a pin there because check all the boxes, and I really want you to talk about for that bio parent right now that doesn't feel the way you felt.
Mm-hmm.
Is it all worth it for them? Especially for that man who feels like, oh man, I'm about throwing the towel on this whole situation because this for the birds.
It's not easy. What I can't say, honestly, what I can say I hear all the time now is that dating now is different. They say that the dating pool has pee in it now.
Ooh.
That's a nice way of saying it.
Ooh. Ooh. So we're gonna hit the pause on that. Okay. I'm gonna let you talk about our sponsorships and bring that to full circle.
I ain't gonna bring up the sponsors after I talk about pee.
Oh, and something that maybe at the center of our table. You could elaborate a little bit on that if you like.
I absolutely will. First off, let me talk about our sponsors. Thank you so much to all that have continued to show their support to the My Dope Blend podcast. I mean, we couldn't do it without you, without your help. Thank you for partnering with us, and thank you for helping us to get this word out. It's more than just, I shared at the beginning of this episode that, we came into this to talk about blended families, and in the midst of it, we have touched on blending families, divorced families, marriages, children. It just has become so much more than just that. But that just lets you know that that this conversation is a needed one. It's hard to imagine 2026, anybody, the possibility of you're getting into a relationship in 2026 that doesn't have a blended dynamic is slim. The statistics show that, so people who have decided to partner with us to get this word out, we just say thank you. Yeah. We just appreciate you. And, we're just going to keep blending together. So we appreciate all of our sponsors. What's at the middle of the table?
It's
Bridging Hearts. I got to come up with a logo. My Bridging Hearts, baby, it's good. And I can't get over that, Dr. Pepper.
Crazy.
That's my favorite jingle right now. Okay, so anything that we're promoting is gonna have that jingle to it. Okay, Bridging Hearts. Okay. Miss Leslie Kirkland, author, not the author and the finisher, but she is the author of Bridging Hearts book, a tool, a resource for anybody who is taking the blended journey. I mean, it's got everything in there. She even wrote a chapter about me.
Yes.
She wrote a chapter about me from my perspective as a divorcee, and just so many different nuggets and tools that can just help and be a resource too. This is a book that can be used in groups.
Yeah.
I think that we talked about premarital counseling.
Yes,
you know
absolutely.
What I'm saying? Pastors and churches, this is a book that you can incorporate as something that you can have your couples go through in premarital. So it's just, I'm grateful for you, and congratulations to you, and I'm proud of you.
Congratulations to us.
And I am happy for you. Well, you're the author, you wrote it, okay. But we're on a journey together. So I think it's great.
Well, I appreciate that. But before we get to, the exercise that we always do toward the end of our episodes, I really want to touch on really quick, because I think it's important. You really advocate for, the bio parent, especially for the men out there who are listening. And I want to just, if you could, quickly elaborate on the checking the boxes, but most of all, I really think talk to the men about, making the right decision when it comes to your kids, and even those who are having difficulty right now, because I know they're facing it. So can you give them a quick little nugget?
Sure. What I will say is this: what I was talking about was that what I hear nowadays is that the dating pool has pee in it. It's just that they're like, these are not my words. These are just things I've heard. They're like, the women are very pretentious And then the guys, they just, because the ratio of male to female is so, large, they feel like men, they just want to play games and nobody wants to be committed and things of that sort. So I honestly can't imagine dating now. I'm grateful that you and I found each other when we did.
Yeah.
But what I can say is that, and I'm not going to preach, but I can't help it. I am a preacher. But what I can say is that the Bible, scripture says in the book of James, the effectual fervent prayer of the righteous avail much. Okay? I want you to look that scripture up in the book of James. The effectual fervent prayer of the righteous avail much. When you talk about checking the boxes, the first thing you got to know is, what are the boxes?
Mm-hmm.
Have you taken the time to consider what you need in a significant other in a blended situation? Not just for you, not just for your physical needs. I know you wanted to be fine and you wanted to be this and you wanted to look like Morris Chestnut and you wanted to look like, Kelly Rowland, and you want this, and you want to be tall, dark, and handsome, and you want her to be Coke bottle, and you want all these things. Yeah, but you got kids. So what do you need them to be for your children?
Mm-hmm.
What are the characteristics that you're looking at for a potential bonus parent for your children, for those of you that are in blended situations? So you got to figure that out. You got to write the vision and make it plain. You got to make the list. I know that they demonize lists. It used to be, throw your list out. Y'all women walk around here with these lists, and what if he don't feel? No. You got to pray specifically.
Yeah.
And so the only way you can be specific is to know what you're looking for and have a list of things that you want God to send you in a significant other that's going to be impactful in the life of your children. You gotta be flexible.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because some of the things on your box, you got to be able to see that the potential for that thing is there. It might not be dead on, but I see the potential of this quality right here. So
really quick,
mm-hmm.
for that bio parent,
Mm-hmm.
and I really want to say to the men
Mm-hmm.
who's struggling, what do you have to quickly say to them?
That's what you see how she's saying quickly? That means
Quick.
she's trying to say I talk too much.
Quick.
What I'm trying to say is that, brothers, you got to pray. That's it. I'm sorry. That's the quick thing I got to say. You got to be specific. You got to know. Because if you're walking around with a broad scope, then you don't know what you're looking for. You don't know what to accept. Oh, she look like she might be good with kids because she work at a daycare center. Means nothing. You got to be able to know what you are looking for. When you can, I prayed about all the characteristics that I got in Leslie. And this is before I met Leslie. I was already praying about the characteristics that I wanted in a wife and in a woman and in a bonus mother to my children. And I remember getting to a place where there were a couple of women who checked some of the boxes. And I remember the Lord saying to me, not to get churchy, I remember the Lord saying to me, stop settling for what you know you didn't pray for. You can't settle because your children are at stake.
Oh.
You got to know what you need in a significant other. That's male, female, that's for anybody who's watching. You got to know what you're looking for. You got to know what you need. You got to know your children enough to know what they need. You got to pray for a person that can deal with your crazy ex. And that's not shade on my end. That's for those of y'all out there that have crazy exes. You got to pray for a person that can handle the ex. See? Because you might meet a person that's good with the children, but can't handle the ex. You got to know. You got to know what are the boxes.
Yeah.
And when you pray specifically, Don't settle for what you know that you didn't pray for.
All right, so real quick, y'all know end of every episode that we do the whole Skittles thing, Taste of the Rainbow. You know, every color represents something special. And, you know, I'm going to start including that on the actual screen so you guys can know what each color is. You know, red, of course, is stop, caution, you know, alert, you know, all things. Green always means something light, airy, fun, focusing some of fun events. Yellow is, you know, talking about a fond memory, and orange is more of like a cautionary thing. But I want to choose, if I can, this one for you. And I think we both should choose the purple, because this episode was about the bio parent. And I think I need to describe in one word the bio parent. From a description of the thought process in the bio parent. And you kind of said it earlier in the episode.
One word?
At least something that's descriptive of the bio parent, you know.
I would say observant.
That's what you used earlier.
Yeah. Observant, intentional.
So to the bio parents, observe and be intentional in everything. But as the bonus parent, I will say this to the bio parent. You are seen, you are heard, and I applaud those right now who are struggling, those right now who have that internal battle, that guilt even that you said that you struggled with, and you can't always verbalize it. I pray that you get that safe place to be able to verbalize it. I pray that you realize that your kids, your spouse, we love you all, and we want you to thrive, and we know you carry a major load, but know this, we are all carrying that load with you. We're blending together, we're blending with love and with grace, because we know that grace is extended to all of us. So with that, we're going to eat our purple.
Now I'll take you and eat. Great. Huh?
Keep blending, y'all. Keep blending. We love y'all.
I want another episode. I have more notes. I want another
Keep
episode.
blending. We might have to come back to this
There's
one.
no mic.
No, we won't come back
I
to it
got more
because,
notes.
no, for real. We coming back to this one because this one was good. I want to hear more from the bio parent, and I really would love for y'all to comment on this one.
Share.
Yeah.
We'll see you
coming
in the
back.
comments.
Yes.
Keep blending.
Wait for part 2 on this one.